Hi Year 6, welcome to Maths. We're going to be carrying on looking at decimals today, and we're going to start the week quite easy. We're just going to look at decimal numbers and what the value of each digit within a decimal is. So I thought to get started we'd have something a bit different today. I know a lot of you play Among Us, either on your phones or on the internet, so I thought I'd make a bit of a math starter using that. So the purpose of the game is to find the imposters, i.e. the ones that are wrong. So here you have 10 different questions. 2 of them, the answer they've said isn't actually correct. Your job is to work out the colours of the 2 that are the imposters. So pause the video now, go through each of these one at a time and see if you can work out which 2 are incorrect. Off you go. Okay, let's start to have a look at it. So we'll have a look at the first one together. So we've got 2, add 0.5, yep. Add 0.09, yep. Add 0.008 is 2.598. So I'd say that one's correct, so that one is not the imposter. This one here, we've got 2/5 times 3/7. So 2/5 times 3/7. Looks like this. Now when we are timesing fractions, we just do what it says. So we do the top times the top, which in this case is going to be 6. And then we do the bottom times the bottom. So it's going to be 6/35. Oh dear. We have found our first imposter. So yellow is one of the 2 imposters. Let's keep going to see if we can find the second one. So the next one is 7,212, add 1,354. So 7,212, add 1,354. We have got 2 add 4, which is, if I show you here, we start at the right, 2 add 4 is going to be 6, 5 add 1 is 6, 2 add 3 is 5, and 7 add 1 is 8. So my final answer is 8566, which is correct. Therefore, blue is not the imposter. Next one. 2,536. Take away 458. Okay, so as you can see, I'm working through them one at a time and just doing the question myself to see if they're correct. So I'm taking away 458, so I do 6 take away 8. Well, I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow from the 3, which makes that 2. The 1 goes here. Now I've got 16 take away 8, which is 8. 2 take away 5 I can't do, so I borrow from the 5 here. That becomes a 4. The 1 goes here. 12 take away 5 is 7. 4 take away 4 is 0. And 2 take away nothing is 2. So, purple is my second imposter. It's not 1,898, it's 2,078. So there you go. Straight away I found my 2 imposters. As I said, there are only 2, so the rest must be correct. Okay, let's move on to the main lesson then. So, to start with, let's have a look at these 2 representations of 2 different decimals. So we have here 1 in the ones, 3/10ths and 2/100ths. We have here 1 in the ones, 2/10ths and 2/100ths. What's the same and what's different about those 2 numbers? Well, I can see that they've both got 1 in the ones column, so I can write that down. And they've both got a decimal point. Now we look at the tenths. Well, this one has 3/10ths, whereas this one has 2/10ths, which I can see here. This one with the 3/10ths, this one with the 2/10ths. In the hundredths, they both have 2 hundredths. So I have here 1.32 and 1.22. Now, my slightly challenging question for you then. What's the difference between the two? Have a think. Okay, so the difference between the two is this one is 1/10 bigger. So the difference between them is 1/10 or 0.1, which is the same as 1/10. If we added 1/10 to this, we would get this. So, have a look at the diagram here, and then have a look at the speaking frame on the right. See if you can complete the speaking frame using the diagram. So there are no ones, 6/10 and 3/100. Therefore, the number is 0.63. 0.63, as we can see here. Have a go at this one. There are 1 ones, 5/10 and 3/100. Therefore, the number is, pause and write it down. The number is 1.53. This one here, pause and write it down. We've got 0 ones, 4/10 and 2/100. So the answer is 0.42. Again, this one here, no more challenging, just added to the numbers. We've got 2.65. 2 ones, 6/10, 5/100. Now this one here is where you could possibly go wrong. You've got 2 ones, no tenths, and 4/100. Now the common mistake that people make is they put 2, they put the decimal point in, and then they think to themselves, well, there's nothing here, so I'll just ignore that and put that there and go straight to the hundredths. So they end up putting 2.4. Well, that's not correct. We have to show that there is a placeholder here, because these are not worth 4/10, they are worth 4/100. So they have to go in the hundredths column. So we put a 0 here to hold the place of the empty tenths. Then we put the 4 next to it. So we have 2.04. Okay, activity 1 then, all groups please. Can you have a go at writing down the decimals for those two representations? Okay, we have 3.45 and we have 1.03. We're now going to look at the value of the underlined digits. So if we have a look at this first one here, the number that, or the digit that is underlined is 3. But it's not worth 3 because it's not in the ones column. So what is that actually worth? Well, we would say that the underlined digit is 0.3 or 3/10. 3/10 or 0.3. Okay, this one here, please. Can you have a go at writing down the value of that digit? So this one here, the 4 is in the ones column. So the underlined digit is 4, or it's worth 4 ones, because that is the heading of the column. This one here, write it down, please. So this one here, the underlined digit is in the hundredths column. So if we were to write that down, we would write it down as being 0.05. 0.05. As shown here, which is the same as saying 5/100, because there's 5 in the hundredths column. All right then, again, activity 2, aimed at all groups, please. Can you have a go at writing down the value of the underlined digit? And can you also please have a go at drawing it on a place value grid like you've seen here? Okay, let's see how you got on. Here you are. Okay, so when we start to look at decimals, there are different ways that we can partition it. That means to split them apart. And we can split them. So for example, if I have 0.73 here, well, the easiest way to partition that would be to put the 0.03 here and the 0.7 here. We would then have 7/10 and 3/100. But there are different ways of partitioning the numbers. So if we look here, 0.73 is 7/10 and 3/100, or 73/100. But this time here, they've split it into 0.6 and 0.13. So we would say that we have 6/10 and 13/100. 6/10 and 13/100. Or the way we originally did it, we said 7/10 and 3/100. Again, 0.85 would be 8/10 and 5/100, but they've split it here to be 0.5 and 0.35. So we would say it's got 5/10 and 35/100. Remember that 0.5 could have a placeholder on the end. It's actually 0.50. We just don't put the 0 after it. Okay, activity 3, all groups again. Can you have a go at doing this for these two, please? And then my group, can you please have a go at taking this and doing 3 other ways you could partition it and writing those down, please? Okay. Here we are. Good. All right then. Very quick maths lesson for today. I'm also going to set you a challenge using Seesaw, and I'm going to put this in this video now because I'm hoping you've stuck around to see it. What I'd like you to do is we're going to run a competition. On Seesaw, you can take a photo and then you can draw on it, you can annotate on it. When you press the add button, I know some of you have already done it, you take a picture, it could be of you, it could be of anything you like, and then you can draw over it using a mouse, or if you're on a phone, you can draw using your finger. We would like to run a best picture competition. So if you could take a photo, it could be of yourself and you could draw silly things on you. That's absolutely fine. And we will pick on Friday's assembly a couple to show off that we think are the best. For now, stay safe. Speak to you soon. Bye.